Oh,
And I haven't even started.
Please don't make nothing.
I think it's highway, something up there, we went across that snowstorm, the middle blizzard like 10 years ago.
Did you have the inspection report?
Yes, right here. You guys gave it to everybody.
Are you Karen?
Yes.
Okay, my name's Irvin Curtis. My name is Irvin Curtis.
Oh, hello. We chatted last year, but I didn't know your name then either. I'm sorry.
Keep a low profile.
Yeah, that's because you're on.
That's the way, this anybody want.
Oh, I do that.
In a nice way.
FYI, we are recording.
Yeah, well.
I was like, this is like.
It's Godfrey. Godfrey.
I remember, was I supposed to sign on that? No, because it just. I'm sure.
He's my builder.
We know him.
Okay. Just checking.
Accused of an illegal meeting. That's right, that's just.
That a minute.
Yeah, you let me know.
6, oh.
6 o'clock. Okay, 6 o'clock. Welcome everybody to the South Thompson Planning Board meeting. On August 15th, I guess, 16th. There it is.
15.
15, okay. Hey, Dave.
Oh.
We'll let you get your paperwork.
Maybe the chair? No.
I should. You can sit here, I'm just.
You can bring over here.
I'll never get to sit over here.
A different year.
I'd like to just take a vote on the approval of the minutes out of order for November 16th and April 18th. And if anybody has any questions, adjustments to the minutes?
Was not there for the 16th, so I cannot vote.
Okay,
I didn't have anything.
I didn't have anything, I read them, just looked at them. Okay, all in favor of voting, we'll vote them separately then. November 16th, 2023 minutes. We have a motion.
Move to accept the
Move to accept the minutes, have a second, and questions or anything? All right, all in favor? Okay. And then on the April 18th,
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
do you have a second on that? Second. Any further discussion? Not hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Aye. Okay, thank you Cindy for your service on the planning board too.
Welcome.
Okay, for tonight, any public comment? First thing on the agenda? Any questions from the public? If you do have questions along the way, we will usually listen to you. If something comes up that you have a concern about. The old business defined landscaping, I don't know if anybody's done anything since I a definition of that, not, we could table that,
Yeah.
or definitely, whatever. Okay, so, all in favor of table in minutes, any motions? And all in favor of it, so,
Second.
thanks, Travis.
Okay.
Okay, new business, will be Karen Copper, you want to tell us? Napper, sorry. Okay, Karen, why don't you just give us a quick rundown, what you like to do?
Okay, so I was here last year and I was looking to rebuild my cottage on the same site, and then January, February happened, and I'm moving it.
Okay,
Back behind the 75-foot line,
all right,
and you have a survey that shows that. And we tentatively cited the house. I'm in this application, I'm asking for a 6-foot variance for the deck, which only has footings, no foundation under it. The house obviously does have a foundation, but there's it butts, I have visual aids. So you have a series of 3 photographs. And they show a kind of a natural habitat area that that house will now butt up right against. And I took I took 3 from a couple of different angles. And the house, while it's only 28 feet deep, the deck is 8 feet and the front porch is 5, so you gotta add 15 feet on there, and then 43 feet. There's one photo that shows the distance between, there was a rock that Gartley and Dorsey put that defines the 75-foot setback.
all right,
And you go 43 feet, what direction is that, west? And it butts right up against this the planting area, which is a raised bed kind of thing. So it makes it pretty much impossible to get in the front door. Without either destroying that whole habitat or allowing it 6 feet the other way for the back deck.
okay, so I'm looking, this is you don't mind coming in?
Yeah,
This is the little cottage here,
yes,
this is what you're planning to propose. to do,
correct.
And this is
This
in,
is the 75-foot line, I think,
oh, this is the water's here.
right? And this is the 75 feet from the hat line.
Okay, so
Okay.
you're behind it all.
I am, right, but the problem is I butt up against this planting area.
So you're gonna move 6
I would
feet,
like to have it just the back deck. Like, as I said, there's no foundation under it, it's just footings.
by the stuff I was kind of
So-
looking at here,
Is this currently your cottage here?
No, it's a garage.
It's a garage.
Yeah, and no, well, it is. It's not on this particular
So the
parcel.
deck would be looking at the water this way?
No, this way.
This way.
So is this, what's this, a building, where's the?
This is a covered porch,
That's a
and
covered.
that's covered, and the rest of it, he didn't put this in yet.
What's the lines?
This is the hat line, I'm not the hat line, this is 75 foot.
Right, what, I mean, what's the five, 6, or what is this, that is,
Oh, that's just where he shows the measurement. That's all,
oh, I see.
which is really tiny on this.
So, you know, actually, this is the porch here,
Well, this is a covered, porch,
this,
I'm putting-
this covered porch.
right, and then, but I'm gonna have an open deck that extends,
Where are you over the 75-foot mark?
well, that's why I'm asking for a variance.
Why do you need a variance?
The plan, the
Which one?
plan
I
doesn't,
don't,
the
because
plan
I
doesn't
have to
show.
take out all my vegetation.
Oh, so you want to move it that?
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah,
See, so the deck would be this far.
no, this is, yes.
So why
Yes.
do you need the stone wall?
Oh, that's not a wall, that's,
That's the
That's
against the
just-
house.
that's the house,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, all right.
it's just decorative.
Yeah,
is this land in the flood zone?
No,
Okay,
and you have a lot.
That's good. have you seen this
I sent
at all? Anything like
You know, I have looked through that and I'll be damned, I could never find
this is
it.
a handbook, it's online.
Oh.
But anyway, let me just, I want to show a page to the board while we've got it out. And that kind of gives a good description of what you're allowed, what you're not allowed.
Right,
I
Well-
think with the way you, if you stay behind the 75, you can go up to 1,500 square feet.
it's only 1,000.
Okay, so you get that, and then in front of that, you go 30% larger on the other addition, but you're also allowed up to 1,000 square feet within the 75, right?
Oh, really?
1,000 square feet,
Well, the porch wouldn't be there,
no, so you're under that. So let me just get to the page.
because I would love to have a full 10 feet. But I'm not asking for that, I'm asking for the bare minimum. I need a pathway, because I rent this place. In like June and July.
I know, I had a friend stay there one time.
Oh, really?
I live on the road from it. I live on,
Let me have
Manola Hill, possibly Beach Road.
Oh,
I
okay,
live on some of the campsite.
okay, yeah.
That has the gents stay there. Emily, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
culture next door.
yeah, oh, really?
Where is the front door?
The front door,
Later on.
Hey, Earl, what's the name of the road?
I have to look at this,
What kind
Front
of
door.
door is called
this is the
Main
front door.
Shoreland
Okay, so you
zoning?
All it,
on this
Main
one?
well, yeah, well,
It's
if
a
I
handbook for owners.
it's 6 feet,
Yeah.
then,
I'm okay, I'm looking at my page, I had it up to.
And where is
over
the
here.
75 feet line?
right here,
This one?
this red line.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's helpful to have the handbook out.
This also does, it's not just the ocean, but the.
And like I said, I'm only looking for 6 feet, I'd love
6
10,
feet.
but, you know, and
And it would be just the deck.
that's all it is.
You just carry
There's
this right
no
now?
foundation under it.
Carried it down, or you're moving it up? And then-
Because this forms took out
I mean, so,
the cottage.
I mean, are you gonna physically take this building, move it up here?
Oh, no.
Just demolish that?
Yeah,
Well,
so, and I'm giving away from.
I still give it up the whole
Floor.
area. Well, I mean, you're removing that much,
Yeah,
that much.
Yeah, and there's no foundation under this. Yeah, it's on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that for forever.
Yeah, Helen, did you know Helen Mitchell?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Helen raised her kids in that house. And her mother lived here as well. I can't imagine 5 people living there. Now, granted, the porch was enclosed at that time, and she was raising her kids.
The 100 is for freshwater with streams and stuff.
Yeah, great, found some rivers, other.
This, blue one,
75.
that stone.
I mean, this shows-
No. Yeah, there is. Wait a
That's the
minute.
flood
There's
plain?
a-
Right.
No, there's a.
It's fine.
Now you're gonna need to get my glasses.
Inside them, not giving you the same thing. Nobody will do the same thing. I won't do that. Give them what they want.
So the question is, do we allow just 6 feet of decking?
I think she's within the limits, so I'm thinking of.
Of course, he's pulling out the whole cottage down here, so.
Yeah, this goes away, it goes away, it's not
That
sustainable.
meets the,
This is the deck right there.
what do you want to say, Gabe? We haven't found the data, or was looking for yet.
It's here, but it just shows the two different.
And I believe
Well, it shows that
this
some of
is,
the property within 75 and then the property past 75.
Right.
this is the timeline right there.
Yes, this one here is your flood line, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I do have a loan certificate, so I'm not in the floodplain. Floodplain, God, you were.
Okay, one of them, I'm sorry.
And what will you do with your?
So in this area,
It's a
it's
division, yeah.
75, you can have,
Right.
you can have thousands and 51.
This is your original house, so this is for renovation and addition,
It says.
and this is Great Pond.
Flood zone division.
So
Right.
this is for an expansion, but it's not for.
Yeah,
So she's moving out of,
she's totally taking down what
This-
exists, so essentially nature can be restored. where-
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think this applies, in other words.
Okay,
I think that. I guess I don't know,
within the 75 feet, though, you can,
this is nothing being built within the 75.
So you're going.
No, I
This is
mean,
the original,
it's
so this is
just a deck.
existing, this is an addition.
But she has an original house already.
Yeah, but
That's
she's,
gonna be
but it's
taken
gone,
down.
she's not adding to it.
So
Right.
She can't rebuild that additional house within the 75 if it's
Correct.
feasible to move it by state law.
Correct.
And because we've determined that it is feasible to move
So
it.
what we're talking about here is basically a porch 6 feet.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't know, it's not, well, hold on, here, small accessory structures,
Well, still.
But you're
not
giving up
feasible to
1,000
meet the
square
required
feet.
setback.
You're giving up 1,000 square feet in the.
Yes.
zone, and you're only gaining that little.
She's going to clean up all that old house.
Oh, yeah,
Make
that
sure
goes
you're not-
away and, yeah, oh, yeah.
I guess what I'm
I
looking
have
for-
garden plans for that.
I don't think there's a, common sense says, sure,
Yeah.
but what I'm trying to find is where it says in the regulation,
Well,
whether or
but
not.
it's weird because the regulation speaks to practicality. And it doesn't define that.
Yeah.
As-
That's straight pond, I'm sorry, fresh water.
It's
Oh, yeah.
conservative, it's
Yes,
Yeah,
it's freshwater.
it's-
Do you have the shoreline zoning ordinance here?
Yes, I did.
Great pond.
I just looked through it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't. do
They're gonna
this,
hold
uh,
on or something like that.
I think I see shoreline zoning right here.
There's that one, that's the changes. But let me get the ordinance I have for that here too.
What else do you amendments?
Hold on, you got it here.
Yeah, that's, that's it.
Sure.
The building's on it.
Yeah,
Well, that's
for your whole
freshwater.
stack.
I'm talking about the health.
Yeah, that-
So,
land use.
yeah, yeah.
I had one.
Alright, I'll look at this. I guess the only, I mean, like, they're going to ask me a very annoying question, but. It's not possible to change the design somehow to make it all work within the regulations.
You know, I've been screwing around with this and just as a functional building, this is the way it works. I was toying with the idea of moving the front door, but that doesn't work either. So, and I'm a function over form kind of guy.
So you have the covered portion of the front doors there.
And it's nice, well, that's the other thing. I like sitting when the ocean side is not in the sun anymore. I like to sit in the sun on the west side and look at my flowers.
So what's behind this, if you have to move it forward 6 feet, what's that, this would be the flowers or something?
Yeah, there's vegetation, there's crabapple trees, there's a couple of birches, yeah.
It's not just.
The other argument
Oh, no,
to this would be
So you
move
decided
it back
to
as
go.
far
for
as
stone
practical,
wall.
is that what you're?
Is
No,
that-
I don't wanna go over the
This
stone
new
wall.
structure.
I need to move it so that I can.
The actual structure, I guess, is back, will be well back, why that's 75.
Yes,
Part of the deck is the only
yes,
thing.
the deck is the only thing that I'm
Why
looking at.
don't you rotate it just a bit?
Yeah, I can't, because then I only have 43 feet. If I rotate it,
Rotate it this way.
even so, I'll still be over the line.
Yeah, that might make it worse
Yeah.
because of the angle.
Right,
Might be, I don't know.
You know, think it's gonna make it worse at all.
Where's your property line here,
great.
Okay, so. are you-
Now I own this.
Yeah.
too. A while ago, yes.
Water line. Yeah.
So this is located on Waterman Street, this is
Mhm.
somewhere else.
Water Beach Road.
It's Jackie Mitchell's old place, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the corner,
Okay,
the hill,
yeah.
and the property, right next to the cousins.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Now it. Corner there.
Across the street from the cousins. Now I have new neighbors.
How do you interpret this, Terry?
I interpret it, I can go back further, I'll still go back further.
I mean, we're trying to see if I can find a way around it.
We've dealt with that in the past, moving it back and move it all the way back. Black and white, so.
I don't think the state cares if there's a flower garden.
Yeah, we had a couple other, well, that one project. Off Pleasant Beach, that they wanted to move it back and looked it up, had to move it all the way back. There was no way around it.
Well, it is moved back.
No, but all the way behind 75 feet. We'll move it back.
Even ancillary, not,
Yeah.
no foundation, no nothing.
It's
And
a
this,
stru-
and this,
it's a
this was
structure.
this was a house that was way closer to the water than yours, and sat
Oh.
hung over, and they
The
wanted.
cottage is right in the water,
You know,
basically.
I've
I've been down there.
Oh.
Yeah, no, this was like hanging over the water and then we moved it back like 20 feet.
Oh.
75 feet and that's it.
Oh.
And that's the line. And that was the Gartland Dorsey working
Right,
things through and
right,
hitting roadblocks with DEP, so.
I think, I mean, the concern here, just so you understand, is that we don't really have I'm not entirely sure that this planning board has the authority to override a state law like that. We do have the ability to interpret our own ordinance, but unless we have something in that ordinance that says we can grant you the variance, then we have to default to what the state law says, and that's why we're pouring through all these papers to see if we can see some kind of exception for a deck or something like that. So that's what I'm looking for. and
right. Well, that's in the statute that I initially read there in shoreland zoning. It talks about to the extent practical. So, you know,
But the
What
state
is
doesn't,
practical?
the state doesn't consider saving a garden practical.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the.
they don't care about natural habitats?
They don't, if you're in the 75 feet and you
No
can move a
kidding.
garden,
They prefer
And move
natural
back.
habitat on the water side.
yeah.
Huh?
Honestly, they prefer.
Well, there already is. I mean, I already put back the beach roses that got swept away.
But you know, if you look at your plan, I mean, if you rotate the house, it seems like you're going to be fine. So, you know, if you bring that corner up here, you know,
Yeah, either way, I gotta get rid of that. Cause if I move it then, well,
I mean, to be honest, even if you move that 6 feet, digging foundation and all the work, you're gonna disturb a big chunk of that anyway.
actually, you shouldn't. Cause, stretch that one.
Right.
Yeah, it might. and That's why I'm looking for the 6 feet, because that gives me this space.
Yeah, but that whole rock wall is still gonna go away. You're still gonna lose a bunch of that anyway. That rock wall, even if you move it 6 feet, that rock wall is gonna still wait, yeah, get a 10 foot wide excavator around there.
Well, we keep on coming in,
Still gotta work on that side of the.
although they could go around.
I know, but. there's
Yeah,
still-
yeah,
there's
no,
still-
it's a
there's
practical
still work
matter.
to be
I
done on this
understand.
side of the building
I understand.
is the
well,
situation.
the work to be done, you know, cannot destroy everything that's surrounded by the water side, so.
Well, it's not going to. It wouldn't, it's destroying what's up here.
Yes, if you're that close to those trees, 6 feet, like you said, the excavator's gonna take those trees on anyway, to get in there, start
Well, some of them, yeah.
digging around there, the trees will probably go under, it sounds like.
I know from my past experiences with other projects in this town and elsewhere, it's DEP, that 75 foot line, they actually, yeah, and you could build that cottage right there exactly how it is, plus 30%, and you'd be fine.
Right.
If you wanna move it back,
But-
you gotta
but-
go all the way back.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Cause you have the land, like,
right.
say your property line was here and you didn't have the land, it wasn't practical, that's where this practicality steps in, but you have, unfortunately, all
Yeah.
kinds of land there to move it back and.
Right.
Cause who did this, did Garland Dorsey do this?
Yeah.
I mean, who did you deal with up there, Will or?
Well, initially, last year I dealt with Will. For this, I got farmed out to Alyssa.
Okay, yeah, she's really, she's a.
Yeah, no, she is.
Have you talked to them about this at all? Cause they might be able to pull some string, I mean, they deal with the DEP on a daily basis.
Yes, we do.
They might be able to find some variants that the DEP can give you. We can't, or we just have to go by the
I
state
can-
law, but they can contact
yes.
DEP and find the variants, that's what they, every day. They have a whole department that just does permits, so.
Yeah, I mean, I did, she was ready to do all the permitting for the riprap that I did. I didn't have a choice, it's going to get done now. Cause, you know, and part of the reason that I'm moving this back, cause this is now caving in.
I don't think we're gonna be able, we can't prove anything, but they might be able to find a loophole or it's dealing with DEP, and then if you re-present that back, we can give you allowance, but.
Well, I think that's how I.
There are
So, Herb, let me ask a question to her, procedural question. I don't think we can grant variances, can we, Herb? That's an appeals board thing, is that an appeals board thing? Have you ever granted a variance?
We have done some in the past, but the thing is, it's a permit by rule. Have you tried any of that, looked at that with DEP?
No,
I would talk to Alyssa.
and
And,
ask her.
yeah, that's.
See what the.
What was that called? Permit by rule?
Permit by rule, yeah.
I don't think this is a permit, if you're outside of 75, then this is a permit by, this could be a permit by.
Well, it might be if
That's in this file.
Yeah.
it's,
I think it's.
But
It talks about,
You've done this 1,000 times.
well, yeah, we do it with, I mean, we generally do
was that,
it with
Cameron?
excavation stuff, within 75 feet.
Have you tried sliding the building this way? See how this kind of goes back?
I can.
Slide that
And
way.
I suppose I can slide it more and get rid of most of that.
If you push
Yeah, I
it back
think-
that way a bit and.
Sure,
see where
no,
that kind of-
Carly.
every line kind of hooks
Right.
in. You know, you shove it that way.
They're
back,
gonna be,
that way
that's
you
what
go.
they do.
Right.
They-
Yeah.
One, pocket in there.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they have already done that? I mean, they clearly.
Well, I mean,
I
they're
think that's
obviously.
why it is where it is behind the 75
So,
feet.
which is really disturbing,
Except for the
they're,
back.
you know, they're beautiful.
No, the deck on the plans is
Let
outside
me write
the
the
75
permit.
feet. The only thing that shows inside 75 feet are,
That way just.
Right, but why would Gartley have, I mean, they know that.
They drew this flag extra on, but she's.
Wait, we're not-
Oh, she wants it.
is this a replacement?
yeah, that's
You know,
all
it's-
outside
it's
75 feet.
because-
Oh,
I-
she's
We're
showing-
replacing.
Yeah, that's just showing, right, so the 75 feet right in the corner,
That's it.
so that'd be
So
my
this
day.
is right here, and she wants.
Yeah, she basically don't come out 6 feet out to.
Okay, I see it now.
It's probably gonna kill it first anyway, you found the big man.
Does it go back?
So. I still, you know, in my house, I built it. I ain't going by the, you know, so. You gotta have.
So it's 2 years old, it's wrong. My daughter has 2 years old. Same source. Okay. So then I won't, I mean, I don't have a choice.
No,
It would be worth a phone call to Alyssa.
Yeah, well, I told her I'll talk to her tomorrow. Okay, so in which case you would not be deciding tonight until after I got some kind of, okay. At such time, if she tells me that the process is a 3-month process, I don't have the time for that,
For something like that, it wouldn't be,
you don't think?
no, that would be a simple like variance.
Yes or no?
Yeah,
Kind
yeah,
of
basically.
vague.
And it might be an
It
email.
might be like,
Yeah.
if it fell into like permit by rule situations, it's 14-day waiting period. It's, yes, it's not serious, but.
They can get an answer, like, we don't need you to come back with a DEP permit stamp,
I see,
but if you can get something in writing
yeah,
from the DEP that says, yes, in this situation, this is
Right.
allowed. I think that, I don't know, so we
Yeah.
speak to the board, that's fine for me, like, I think
okay,
that's, I mean, I'm an architect. Travis handles this sort of thing all the time,
okay,
that's how it kind of works, you just like find somebody at the DEP.
right.
Start with Gatley Gorski.
Is that what you wanna do?
Right, yeah, as long as that's a short, see, I have a problem. Naturally. So I have people that rent from me in the summer, I mentioned that before, and these are people that have rented from me for years.
Mhm.
And they're already set for June and July
So you gotta get,
next year,
right, so you want.
so
to.
and I'm like, wait a minute, you haven't even stayed there yet, they did this in May.
Yeah, something like that wouldn't be a long process,
Okay.
it's not like you're engineering it.
Right,
It
no,
has
no,
to be-
not at all.
It's just asking for a variance from
Okay.
the state.
Okay.
And Golly Dorsey would do that.
Yeah, that they have a whole department that
So
just
then-
does
Right.
permitting and, but they could probably very easily give you an answer, Gartley.
Right,
An answer,
right.
whether it's worth putting
Or
on
doing or not.
or whether you're gonna beat your head against the wall.
Right.
I have a question. I would be the builder and it turns out I sold her
I
this
bought the
property.
cottage from,
I lived there for 13, 14 years and I had the septic system put in and all that, so very familiar with that. If she pursues this avenue, she'll still have to come back before you guys, and you meet like, what, once a month?
Well, I don't know, if you have a variance and a letter, Terry could probably issue.
Oh,
I think,
Building
and if you're outside the 75, cause it doesn't come before the planning board.
Yeah,
anyway,
if you stay outside 75, you don't need to come back in front
right,
of the
so
board.
your option is get a permit tonight, move the house where it's
No,
strong.
we don't even give you a permit, Terry do that.
I mean,
Terry does
whatever, get
Right.
approval tonight, and then put the house as per this plan,
right,
and just
or,
move on,
or
or keep.
spend the 2 weeks, you really think it's 2 weeks?
A permit rule is before you stay waiting for, you'd get an answer relatively quickly with a conversation with Alyssa on,
Okay,
um,
and then,
whether you're gonna be able to or not.
okay, and then what would be the process with the board?
You would, then you just go to the basis, the code enforcement officer.
Yeah, I don't
Then I
feel
go
you
to
need
you
to
and
come back
say,
here. if you
come back here.
Okay, we can't move it, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Or we can move it and.
Right, as long as they make a motion tonight approving
Yes.
those contingencies, then.
Okay, okay,
I can't speak for the board, but I feel that you're downsizing on that bigger house, the house that's there, I guess. To us, just, how long is that porch wide? 6 feet by,
no, it's currently,
no, of the additional amount that you need is not very big.
no, it's not, it's just to give me
It's under
6
the-
feet. So I can,
I know there are limitations like under 700 square feet and stuff like that, too. I'm not sure if there is,
right,
but I don't know exact rule. I can't, I'm not an attorney
Right,
or
right.
engineer, so.
yeah, no, it's just to
That's 10 feet
confirm.
long. That's
They
10
have
feet long, that.
some planting
So
area,
it's water.
I'll think
Yeah.
Travis said this,
Come on,
that
the other way.
Darlene Dorsey was, you know.
they're the end all be all,
17.
yeah, yeah, no, I'll
They
talk.
permitted
I have
storage
people
gas
said-
Yeah.
in the water.
It's interesting,
Ah,
because I had a meeting with her yesterday, because I want them to stake it.
She wants.
Yeah, I mean, they did the survey, but they didn't do a topo, but it
I
doesn't
think,
matter.
does she want to get building now or?
Well, she wants to build this,
But I want them to
That's why
stake
she
it,
has-
and she didn't say anything about
if all
that,
the,
because I
everything is
mentioned
set.
that, you know,
we
indeed,
can
I'm gonna
start
ask her for 6 feet, so I can,
She has tenants.
people can get around the front door,
But we would say we're.
without walking through the buildings.
You know, it might be
You
that,
can't do nothing until then, so it's
you know, some.
either way.
Well, we, yeah, we've got some time,
Some
but
towns might
of
do
course-
this a little differently and her not knowing.
And she,
So
and that's
it might
probably
be-
the answer, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'll ask her.
everyone's trying.
Yeah, I mean, if.
I feel you're in very good shape.
Show up.
Even
where
with
it
the
says
extra
in
6
the
feet.
Ordinance.
I think
that's
that- I
fine.
think
She
that
knows it's
would
within
be
the
a lot.
law.
Yeah.
Right,
It's all, that's.
I-
I couldn't find.
If
If I had a report tonight, I'd say do it, but I.
So a foundation? I mean,
Yeah.
that is probably
I
Polish.
think.
Well,
Well, there's two
You
pieces
just hired
of
a letter from the
that.
Oh,
DEP.
that's the
Right.
concrete, almost, they don't want to study much.
5 foot, 4 foot.
No.
Years.
So they can make it-
It's not
Yeah.
a full foundation, but it still intrudes, I mean, if she gets what she's hoping for,
Yeah.
it would still, those piers would be inside the
Yeah.
75 foot, so it still doesn't matter what the foundation
And,
is.
like Travis said, probably best to check and see.
Yeah, they're gonna have your answer.
Yeah,
Right.
Or be able to.
I'd be very surprised if they said you couldn't do it.
But,
I
you
think
know,
I would, yeah, myself.
in her defense.
Yeah.
The garden she's talking about, I put in and they,
Yes,
they're now mature trees and nice vegetation, rock walls and. It would be a shame, it would not be the end of the world, it's a first world problem, I guess, if you have to tear it out and move it, but it's still.
The state doesn't usually take trees and.
they really don't, interesting, that's interesting, because you would think,
Right. It's kind of.
They're all-
Yeah.
Well, this, you know, they're all about protecting shoreline and
Right.
75 feet.
and that's what I'm trying
75
to do. I mean, I'm trying to protect the shoreline.
Yeah, yeah.
feet.
No,
But they have their line in the sand,
I
so to
know,
speak.
I know.
And Alyssa will give you.
Well, we'll-
Okay.
We.
So-
She'll know.
Bill.
So you, at this juncture, if
I know.
hopefully you give me conditional approval. is
No matter what,
Yeah.
she should have come in with something like that, show us that,
Yeah.
and after that, we.
How do you speak the situation? Make a motion?
Yeah, let's make a motion to, I think, either table this or just leave it to CEO to complete?
Yeah, I think if we give it to Terry.
Yeah,
Okay.
because she's going to get an answer yea or nay. If it's nay, it's nay, and she has to move the house. And if it's yes, then she can.
Yes, I don't think there's something that's, the planning board needs to actually even vote on,
Yeah,
honestly. It's not,
yeah, I think.
it's not an issue.
You don't have to give her,
If she's outside the 75, it doesn't even come to us.
Oh,
If it's inside the 75 and it has an approval. But
What we were told is, I
In
think
that meeting, yep.
that because the existing cottage is gonna be torn down, has only one bedroom. You wanted to verify it correctly, so that the new house has two bedrooms.
and that was the big issue.
And we.
But you're unclear on that.
We're all clear on
So-
that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the town didn't have a copy. I put the septic system.
Yeah.
Uno Lumen did, anyway.
Where is the septic system on this plan? I didn't see it.
It's up the hill, it's pumped up, it's,
Yeah,
it's
pumped up
it's pumped up
a long way.
a long way. It's,
Septic field, the leach field is right here. Wait a minute.
Terry gave approval.
Yes, leach field's right here.
I'm behind that garage.
No, that's.
It's up here,
red.
way up here. It's way up, it's pumped
Yeah,
like,
yeah, pumped up till.
400 feet.
States that because
Anyway,
it's so close.
I'd like to make a motion that we,
Refer the matter to Terry.
once she gets consulting with her engineer, that if you can find a solution. That, you know, I think you will be within your 1,000 square feet, whatever,
Yeah,
or your expansion, whatever you're doing there. Yeah, to me, it doesn't matter if it's right on the building or if it's on a new building, you know, personally.
right,
So if they can find some ruling on that, to let you know and let Terry know,
right.
and if they come to a solution where you can have your deck or not,
Mhm.
okay, then you see Terry, should give us some from it.
Okay.
Okay, do I have any seconds on that?
One second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yeah.
So good luck with your project, I think we're gonna be in good shape, though, I think you.
I hope so. I don't wanna dig up all that stuff. We plan it.
I know, I don't want you to.
sorry.
Thank
Thank you. So we have,
Maybe I'll keep it because there's
the
another.
Haskells,
I don't see either one of them here.
did they come tonight, okay? Then we'll move on to John, how are you? Good.
I'm John Benner, Hammered Out Construction. I have been hired by a customer that is at 33 Island Road, South Thomason. Right after McClune's, right before the Burnt Island Bridge. This property was purchased in 2020 by Jen and Josh Eldridge. They had a septic inspection upon purchasing it. This property is very small and it has some issues with terrain. So this house that was here existing was placed perfectly for the terrain that's there because it's a very big slope on the backside.
Okay.
So what they're asking me to do is take and rebuild this structure because the hill on the backside, the foundation wasn't high enough, so it started rotting the back of the building.
Okay.
It's a block foundation that's compromised due to freeze thaw. So they've asked if I would do an addition on it, and I said it's structurally not stable enough to do an addition. We really ought to look at tearing it down and putting a new foundation in and trying to get the drainage around the backside of this cottage. So going over everything with them, we've decided the best avenue is to tear it down completely, pin the locations with the surveyor for the existing location and rebuild this structure and do our 30%. That's allowed by the state. Unfortunately, property lines are tight. The 75-foot goes through about a third of the way in, so it's 2/3 into the 75 right now. So I wish there was a way to be able to move it back, to be able to appease the board, but unfortunately with the terrain, there's no possible way to do that. And The septic system is adequate according to the state at this time. But they have gotten a new septic design, so when this one does fail, the new septic design can be installed. Garley and Dorsey is finishing up on that right now, so
Okay.
they're talking about putting in a Fuji Clean system in place of. I didn't have this for Terry, but I can pass a couple of these around now. You guys can just pass it around once you get and this would only need to be done, I guess, once it fails, is that correct, Terry?
Right, it just needs to be recorded at the registry.
So, they are finishing it up at Garley and Dorsey. It's proposed on this plan, but they don't have the, septic design complete right yet. They are working on it.
What's the capacity of this thing? It doesn't have nothing to do with what we're doing tonight, but just curious. What is it? How's that thing rated for?
What's that?
So septic system.
Right now, it's a 2-bedroom system. I don't know
Okay,
all of the ins and outs with,
I don't either.
so, I mean, Trav might know more about these systems. I don't know.
I'd have to see the plan with challenge, but.
But once it's complete, I can bring that to Terry and we can get it registered or reported at the
That's sort of
registry.
a complicated design, so. Yeah, I know someone like that.
Yeah, the pre-filter, they basically it's a pre-treatment system.
So I'm looking at this.
Aerates it and like turns it into drink.
John?
Yeah.
Okay,
After you.
I know that's what they said.
That's the.
75 feet goes through here somewhere.
It does, right through here.
Aeration system, what it is? Yeah.
So basically when the water comes out, it's supposed to be.
It is aeration, yeah, unless the bugs do their thing and,
Yeah.
and kill off the bacteria.
And the reason they had to do that is everything is ledge, so there's not enough.
I don't know, that's all, there's no strong back there, I mean, half that was put in there 100 years ago.
How big is this whole lot?
It's half of an acre.
Then you said the new plan is 30%
Yes,
larger than the.
it is.
In
And
what
it's,
direction?
does it come any
It
closer?
does not, that's why we're gonna have the surveyor in the water side,
It can't come any closer.
so it doesn't approach anything further.
Right.
So, and if you look at the terrain on the back of this, it's really aggressive, and that's one of the reasons why we have this issue. Is we're gonna do a raised curb on the back of the foundation to protect us from the water that's coming down.
But you had to leave a wall standing, they could redo stuff, they changed that, now you can just tear something down flat. Start over.
I mean, it makes it easier if you leave something standing, like if there's like that 50% market value thing that you run into. Like if you can save 50% of the value of the house, you don't have to move that.
Yeah, I remember if you just left a wall standing and then just went a real run.
I mean, that's what ends up happening, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, there is that, I was just reading it.
So the customer's willing to, they wanna have the surveyor come put pins in it's all ledge, so they'll
Yeah.
pin exactly where it's at. And then that way, when they pour the footings, we know
Yeah.
nothing's getting closer to.
A lot easier to tear something out of your way than just not all over.
Yeah.
You know, I know, but construction.
And if the surveyor marks it and it's true to square, so the concrete guys don't have to worry about the elevations to square things up, so. Works out pretty good.
As far as I'm concerned, if the code enforcement officer of the state is, when the state rules allows, fine, with me.
Okay.
I agree, I don't see an issue of, you're not coming closer, you're staying within the 30%. You've got the updated septic plan that's approved. Well, you don't have it yet.
Yeah, they're in the process of it. So the other part of this is the garage. If you guys look at, when I go to furniture out. It has the right of way for Burnt Island. You can see their garage is actually within the right of way. So they've asked, if we can just turn that, and the other thing is that garage is so low with that storm that we had. They'd like to raise the garage, and I said, if we're raising the garage to protect you from the water, we ought to at least turn it out of the easement. So we're just gonna turn that, it won't go into the 75 feet, but turn the garage and make it another, bay and a half instead of a 1-car garage.
It'll all be outside. So
There's something in there about auxiliary structures, I think, on that
If it's outside the 75, it's
Doesn't
fine.
matter, yeah.
Go uphill there when you, let's see, Mike, there's one uphill to go back that way, never.
So we're gonna turn it to go across the face of that right away, and there's enough in the pocket of ledge to allow us to turn
Yeah,
that.
gonna tweak it a little bit to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the right of way isn't a huge issue because the Burns Island people said they could work with them on that, but at this point, if we're gonna be redoing get a little bit more elevation, I figure we might as well turn it.
Oh, go right to this.
So there's had a couple different surveyors here, so the branch was available when they were purchasing it. And then Charlie Endorsement got involved because of the septic system and the plot plan for that.
Here's my boss, Tim Grohl, back in 1982. He was a survey foreman.
Okay.
Job.
I'd like to make a motion that we
Yes.
approve this project. As long as it sits back at the 75, you're on the same footprint, and there's no other issue that we're involved with, need be able to stay or.
I would just add that we should note in our approval that the conditions, site conditions, the board agrees that site conditions prevent moving this.
Right.
Because I think we just need to be consistent
Yes.
when we say what people can and
Well,
can't.
Well, they're not trying to move this, they're trying to.
Yeah, but it says in here, if you build a new foundation on their house, gotta move back. And,
but there's no room to move it back.
right, and, but we're saying, so we just have to write down that we agree that there's no room to
There's no
move
room to
back.
move back, yeah, that's
Because
fine.
I do agree, we see the topography, it's
Yeah.
steep, it's rocky.
That was in my mind, but I probably should have said it.
I
Felt
just
like
think it should be
a tree
written.
you cut down and some bushes you can move, you know, you can't really. Yeah.
I think we should just write it down in the approval, so people understand.
Okay, so now, okay,
Repeat the motion now.
the motion would be to rebuild the cottage or the house, structure, on its current location, will allow 30% of the state, and that is, which the foundation is back as basically as far as it can go. There's no room to move the foundation, like, and, for that reason, it's approved. Anybody want to second that?
I second it.
Any further discussion?
I think so.
All in favor? Okay, good luck with your project, John.
Oh, thank you so much.
Remember when you were a little kid?
You do?
Oh, yeah, you were crossing mountain, right, one time. Your family,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty good.
Where are you from?
I lived over here in Homeport Avenue.
Oh, okay.
I lived in Rockland, lived in Alsaid Bowl.
John Banner, my dad built that.
Bill Banner.
Hannaford, he's been there.
No kidding.
60 years.
No kidding, yeah, no kidding, yeah, he's an awful good guy.
Yeah.
Brad, his younger brother, right?
Yeah,
He
right.
was out of my class in school.
Yeah, he lived in Florida
Yeah.
for a lot of years.
And he's been on the cruise, boy, I see him on Facebook, the guy goes on a cruise like 3 times a year, it seems like.
Yeah, he drags us along pretty regularly.
Yep.
My son loves it.
Yep.
Where is the nice?
So,
Very good, nice family.
all right. Thank you, guys. Have a good
Thank you,
evening.
John.
Yeah.
Where's your father now?
He's in Camden, Hanford. Yeah, he's the evening manager in Camden. Oh, okay.
Personal guy, yeah.
Yes, okay, I remember seeing that.
Butcher's too.
Who's that?
Butch.
Yeah, but he's in Camden, and he's been there for a lot of years now. But it's not- it's 60 years now. Yeah, I will do that.
So, you think of this?
We're gonna be upset.
John, I'll work on that permit next week and have it ready.
Perfect. Thank you so much for all your guys' time, and thank you, Terry, for all your help.
Have a
Good to see you
nice
again.
night.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the split was, but per our ordinance, you can have a commercial entity.
Up to
outside
10,000.
250 feet. of
Yeah.
the-
That's R2, so the 10,000 square foot max again,
Yeah.
you know so well.
Okay, we're talking about,
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just,
but
number
he's-
B.
they're not here, so
You're
it's
not
not,
here, so.
we'll table it, if they show up. they
And
show
I
up.
will not be here next month.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they stay under, within what the ordinance says, it's,
Yeah, there won't be anything we can do to say no, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
but that's a piece of property by the, by the legal business.
We gotta establish the next planning board meeting date. That will be September 19th, I believe, 6 P.M.
It's fine with me.
All right.
I will be out of the country, so I cannot be here.
Oh, have a nice trip though.
Where you going?
I know how that
I'm
feeling
going
is.
to visit my mom in France.
My boss.
Do we have a motion to
Southwest.
adjourn? Second, any discussion, all in favor?
Oh, man.
I'll give you your ordinance back.
Yeah, thank you.